everything needs to do the preparation. So jars too, and the labeling is according to the preparation. And usually the jars, it is usual for the jars to keep them at a cool place, or maybe some beans should be kept in a cool place because of bacterial growth to secure them from bacterial growth. Okay. So that was a theory I wanted to say, and I give it to you, this paper.
Thank you.
So not everything is written there, so you need it also. You need not is sleeping. Okay, it's snow. You can see the snow.
Really?
Snow is falling.
Wow.
Snow is falling. Sage.
Nice. You know that's why I've got.
Yes, you
Yes.
transfer here. Yes, I know. It is closer.
Yeah.
Make fingers closer for you. Yes, I can see that your car is also here.
I'll sit here 3 days without any moving.
Yeah.
Because we don't need a car. We go to the main building, 5 minutes we come here.
Everything is here.
Yeah.
And you don't travel so far, so you don't need it.
No,
you
no.
can sell your car
No, we need it. Maybe we
to go to the best way.
yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Okay. Okay, now, so there are two preparations to do. I give it to you. First the preparation will be the Umberto Anastasicum. Let's have a look at this preparation. So there are two components in this Umberto Anastasicum. You can see the lidocaine, which is a local anesthetic component, and the ointment base will be second, the Umberto Macromori.
Excuse me, lidocaine is strong, yeah?
What's
Lidocaine is strong.
yes.
In one holocaust.
No.
One filter. Benzocaine is not?
Benzocaine is not. That's a big
Well, yesterday I was looking for benzocaine into the shelf. Kalamaya told me it's not there. No.
Benzocaine has no cross, no field cross. So lidocaine is a strong effect. Benzocaine no. That's the difference.
Okay.
So you cannot buy, for example, this one in a pharmacy.
Lidocaine.
There
Need a prescription, yeah?
you need a prescription. There are some
Hard point.
ointments, gels that contain lidocaine, but you have to buy. You need a prescription.
Yeah.
Maybe hopefully. Mark is coming. Hello. How are you? Very bad. Why don't you stay at home?
Because we have practice, no.
Yes, I know.
يعني
Siz sola skriptan mı?
هذا دي هلا خلي بس nice. Take an ampoule or one inject
We
ampoule.
went to inject this.
But I am good after that. I eat medicine. Not effective.
And you have codeine or not?
Morning metamizole. 12 o'clock codeine and no diclofenac and no
What was the fifth one?
somatotryptan.
Somatotryptan. Yes, I know. Somatotryptan, yes. Expiration. It expired 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yes.
Mama,
Not 2 years ago, because it expired at the end of 211. So this means one and a half.
But that's not good if we inject it?
Nothing will happen to you.
Nothing
I
happens.
think.
But
But you can see here, this is the expiration date.
yeah.
And there in the middle, and
Expiration, I don't know.
November,
No.
according to our era, November to
Yeah.
2011. So 1.5 years ago.
Aman Allah çıkar koyayım. Orada bir yere ne yapalım? Here is not a somatotherapy subcutaneous injection.
No, just tablets. Just tablets. No injection. Tablets like this, that's not no injection. I don't know about injection. So much is only tablets.
I bring a lot from my country and now they are finished. This is the last one.
This is the last one.
Yeah, I bring 100 ones and this is the last one. Yeah.
They should send you a box with somatic injection.
The post don't accept the drug. Just if somebody go, they can bring it.
Yeah.
Okay. She should go down with it again. Okay, continue. I don't disturb you.
So I can...
چرا تازه این 6 دقیقه رفته.
چیز نبود همین کرم و اوینتمنت و پاستا و ژله که ژل 90% واتره، کرم بسیدر اوپ معمولا اوپویه یعنی اوپ واتره. بعد اوینتمنت هم گفتش که آقا جون هم بتونه اوپو بشه هم وپو باشه. پاستا موردن 40%ش چیه؟ پاودره. چیز دیگه بعد اون میخوای درست کنی حالا اول باید لیپوفیلا رو با هم قاطی کنی، با هم دیگه توی پتندولا که آهنی داغش کنی مایع بشه. بعد اون هیدروفیل رو که اکتیو اینگریدینت داره با واتر با هم دیگه قاطی میکنید. دمای 70% بستگی داره که ای پی تو 70% خراب بشه یا نه. اگه ای پی 7 بشه باید دما کمتر کنی. بعد اونو قاطی میکنی، میکس میکنی با هم دیگه تو کجا تو میکس شه. بعد برمیگردی تو پتندولا هم یعنی آب و آی پی هم برمیگردی دوباره میکسش میکنی و پر میکنی توی یه چی تو تیوب.
اوکی.
Everything is clear now? Okay, now another thing. This is your preparation.
دیگه تو همه امضا یکی کدوش مال تو؟ همه امضا یکی کردی اونجا.
As you can see, it is the same time. So try to...
Oh, a little different.
No.
Right one is bigger.
You should read your sign.
You are one person in two different bodies.
That's good. Okay, so try to sign it so that we could read it. And this is one, and do not sign the same with the same. So you should sign your own, and Arman should sign his own preparation.
Okay, next time. Today.
Today,
Yeah.
exactly. This was Peter's message.
Peter has many messages.
بذار خبازنه درس بده.
گفت الان داره اینجا داره خواهید لیدوکاین با اونگمنتوم ماکروگولی قاطی میکنیم با هم دیگه. What's the advantage of augmentum macrogoli?
Okay, so I will read this again. So Arman told you that what this is about, so we are going to make ointment. And another thing that try to prepare for the practices, because after a few weeks, so this is your last semester, last course from our subject, and the last 5 or 6 weeks will be exams.
Yes.
We are going to do prescriptions, and we are going to ask you, maybe Peter is also going to be there, so we are going to ask you a few questions regarding the preparation. So for example, you made a suspension, and we are going to ask you that what does it contain, and what are the composition of good for. So you have to revise everything from the first semester until the last semester, and these 5 or 6 practices are good to you to revise everything. So it is your responsibility now to revise everything from the beginning, because after that we are going to
ask a question.
Everything, okay? So this is an important thing. Okay, so have you understood everything that Arman said about this?
Yeah, and these are written also in these papers, yeah?
No, not everything.
همه نداد دیگه همه الان برگیم توضیح داد برگه به من داد.
Excuse me, about yesterday with Dr. Peter, he doesn't give us any paper related to the emulsion suspension.
Okay, I will give you paper about the emulsion suspension. But you also should have a look at the practices from last year, because maybe you will find some material about emulsion suspension.
Okay.
Okay, but I can quickly tell it to you because we got time. Are you going to another practice in the afternoon?
Yes, we have a class again.
When?
At 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
with Dr. Agnesh. That's the elective course.
From 4 o'clock?
Up, sir, up.
Yes, I know. But
We told them that we're coming a little bit late because we have a laboratory.
okay. So,
What do you write on the first, after over, you start pere,
preservatives.
preservative.
So this means that so there are many types of creams or ointments. The creams have a solid consistency. The ointments have viscous solid consistency, contain powder usually more than 40%. You have about 90% of water, and creams and ointments can be oily water or water in oil types. Creams are usually oily water types, and because of the high water content, preservative is needed because bacterial growth cannot be, or it can be that bacteria have a way to grow inside the ointment. That's why we need preservative, which is usually the solution conservants. That is the preparation. Okay. And this is about the preparation, how to prepare. If you have more components, and then you have, for example, liquid components and hydrophilic components, so water and oil and some other preparations. So you have, for example, liquid components, but you have, for example, paraffinum liquidum, which is a liquid. You got some kind of solid liquid component, and you have to melt everything together, which is usually at 70 degrees centigrade. So you melt everything together on a water bath or under an infrared lamp. And you also have to heat together with the water phase. Okay? So, and if the water phase contains some substances that can be dissolved in water, you must dissolve it in water, but you have to be careful that the API should not decompose at this temperature. Okay? So if it decomposes at this temperature, you cannot do this way. So further in this case, you must suspend it, but not an API with a dissolved form. So if everything is heated, and you mix this in a patadula, you heat this in a flask, and then you pour from the flask to the patadula while continuously mixing, and you mix it until fluid. And it's many parts. You do not pour together and
Suddenly.
Suddenly and but in many parts, and you continuously mix it. Okay. And if you make ointments that contain high powder content, so if there is any powder, and this powder is going to be in suspended form and not dissolved form, so it is not going to dissolve, then you use mortar because it is used for grinding. And if the API is going to be dissolved, this is from metal. This is from porcelain. So everything which contains suspended particles should be made in a mortar. And everything which contains no suspended particles, so this means that everything is in liquid phase, you must do it in patadula. And if it is, you must heat something, then you can heat in a flask or in a patadula. The mortar cannot be heated, because if you heat it, it is going to keep the hot temperature for a long time, and it is not going to be cooled down in a few minutes. That's why it cannot
Hello.
be heated. Hello.
I got your message.
They have your message from us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the polyester. Or what?
The signature.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm the sticky man again, right?
That's your message.
Oh, it wasn't that. You were the breakfast reader. I just said because your turn.
And what was the polyhydratum? Polyanhydratum? Yesterday we asked what is the polyanhydratum. Polyanhydratum.
I don't know what he was
It was on the lecture. It was a lot of the biodegradable polymer, and one of them was polyanhydratum. And
I don't know. I have nothing common with the lectures. Okay, now let's talk about the two preparations. There are going to be two preparations. The first is the Umbento. It contains one API, which is the lidocaine. It has a strong effect, so it has one field cross. is a hydrophil ointment. And the important thing that this is going to be, the lidocaine is going to be dissolved in the macrobody. So the lidocaine is a crystalline powder, so it is crystal. And you have to do everything in a patandula. So this one should be made in a patandula. Even if it is a powder substance, it is crystal, because it is going to be dissolved in the ointment base. So you have to heat it, as you can see, you have to heat it until 60-70 degrees centigrade. You can use a water bath, for example, and you heat it, and you or you mix together with the lidocaine. The ointment base should be mixed together with the lidocaine on the water bath, and it is going to be dissolved. And if it is dissolved, you take off from the water bath and you mix it until cooling, and then you have to dispatch it in a jar, plastic jar. Okay? Yes. Or tube, but the jar will be simpler for you. So it is going to be very simple. So the lidocaine has to be dissolved, and after dissolution, you have to mix it until cooling. So what is it good for? It is a local anesthetic. So if you apply it, for example, on the surface of the skin, you are not going to feel, if there is, for example, if you have some kind of injury, then you apply it onto your skin and you are not going to feel the pain. Okay? This is metal anesthetic. Okay. The second is a more complicated preparation. It's a crema aquosus. It's a nutritive cream, so it is going to be a little bit complicated. As you can see, it contains many components, and you will have to use paraffinum solidum, I think, because you can see that paraffinum microcrystallicum, that means that, or paraffinum solidum, you have to use paraffinum solidum. And as you can see, it contains two phases. It contains the lipophilic phase and the hydrophilic phase. You have to heat together the hydrophil and the lipophil phase. So as you can see, the method of preparation is that you dissolve in the water, in the distilled water, the sodium lauryl sulfate, so the natrium lauryl sulfuricum should be dissolved in distilled water.
It has some abbreviation also, yeah? SLS.
Sodium lauryl sulfate, yes, SLS. Yep, yes. It has to be dissolved in distilled water, and you have to heat it approximately until 70 degrees centigrade. And then you have to heat together the components under Roman number 1. So this is the paraffinum solidum, paraffinum liquidum, alcohol styrenium, and the glycerin has to be poured together in a patandula. So everything which is under one, you measure it inside the patandula and melt together on a water bath. Okay? Or under the infrared. Yes. And if it is melt together, then the temperature is almost the same. So the water phase and the lipophil phase is equal. The temperature is equal, almost equal, around 70 degrees. So everything is liquid. And then you do this step. You pour from the flask to the until cooling. And after cooling, you have to do two things. The first is add the rest of the components under Roman number 3, which is the ethanol citric. So these volatile things which can evaporate, the ethanol citric can evaporate, so that's why you cannot add this when it is hot. So you add the ethanol citric and at the end the solutio conservans, because it contains alcohol, 96% alcohol, it also can evaporate. And after that, you supplement everything with water until 100 grams. Okay?
It means solution conservants before aqua distillata.
Before aqua distillata, and the last step will be the completing the preparation until 100 grams with distilled water.
Okay. That's okay.
یعنی همونه که اندازه گیری می‌کنیم که چقدر شاید تقصیر شده و چقدر آب بریزیم.
من مثلا اینا همه با هم دیگه شده مثلا 39 تا، از این من مثلا اینقدر
Okay, so and you put it in everything in a plastic jar, plastic container, and this is a softening cream. Yes. Okay, have you got any questions?
No.
Or we can-
Thank you.
Okay.